Greetings, exalted ones.
You are no match for me.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is another Killstreak breakdown video where I talk over the pre-recorded gameplay. We got a Dooku Killstreak on Hoth. I forgot the names of the star cards, but the cards I'm using are Dooku gets extra health regen, extra stamina with his lightsaber, because I usually fight a lot of heroes, and extra damage while Duelist is active. So those are the three cards I've got. Now obviously in this phase it's similar to the Yoda one, where the best thing you can do is obviously kill anyone who has a disruptor, or help your team push through so they can take them out as well. So you can only do so much in this type of phase, so just kill anyone who's trying to flank or anyone who's behind you. You can only push so far up when you're attacking. If anyone has a disruptor, take them out. And obviously just keep looking at your health and the AT-AT's health. Yeah, pretty much all I'm trying to do is just look for any kills I can get. Keeping an eye out on when they get their heroes and who their heroes are, because I know they will try and push me at some point. Now obviously, in case one thing you guys don't know about the lightning stun, the more people it hits, the less damage it does. So it can one-shot an assault, like anyone except buffed officers and heavies. It can one-shot 2 assault players if you hit 2 of them with the lightning. But obviously the more people you hit, the less damage it does, so just be aware of that as well. So like, don't be like, you got to be ready to follow up with an attack if you need to. And obviously, as I mentioned, hitting them from behind does more damage as well. I see a lot of Dooku players rely on duelists to get their kills, or at least that's an assumption I make. Obviously, don't be afraid to kill people without duelists. He's got pretty good swing speed, animations, not too fast, but like efficient enough to do the work. And obviously he's got 3 dashes, so make the most of it. One thing I just did there, I'm doing here to cut the gaps. Dash diagonal and different sides. It's pretty much like you don't charge at them in a straight pass. That way you're able to kill them and they can't get an easy shot on you. So you'll notice I do a lot of that, because Dooku's got 3 dashes, so make the most of it. And dashing diagonal side to side if you're trying to close the gap. That way they can't light you up too easy. If you just run straight at them, they've got a clear shot at you, you know? So just little things like that to keep aware of. And obviously, I'll try and put pressure on the heroes. I've actually versed this Anakin player before, so I knew who he was. I feel like he was luring me to a one-on-one, which I was actually prepared to do, but because he went out of bounds, I kind of stopped. I was trying to tell him by looking down on the floor there, but he was starting to get shot at, so a little unfortunate, but it would have been nice to have a little 1v1. I'm not afraid to fight the heroes. That's kind of why I keep the stamina card on for Dooku. See the heavy there, he didn't die straight away, so I followed up with an attack there. The extra regen card's really good for the likes of like Dooku and stuff. Just anyone who has it, because you can lose a bit of health but still regen a lot of it back. It's really, really handy. It's really good. A good time to use duelists is obviously on reinforcements as well. Anyone who's not a heavy or a buffed officer, you can one-shot them with duelist as well, so that's another thing to be aware of. It's actually a good thing that I jumped up like that, because if I started swinging at all of them, I probably would have died out of bounds without realizing the timer. So it's probably pretty fortunate that happened. Obviously you've got to be aware of the timer when you do play out of bounds a bit, so that's another thing to be aware of. I try and kill anyone who's back there. I didn't get the kill there, but at least I'm putting the pressure on anyone who tries to flank. I'm trying to push the heroes, but they keep falling back, so I'm definitely not afraid to fight them. Obviously, you've got to pick your moments as well. If they've got like 5 troopers with them, you've got to be very careful. So yeah, I had to hit him twice, the heavy there with the duelist, as I mentioned before. His stamina card comes in handy when people try to swing spam you. Just keep in mind though, his stamina is better against actual lightsaber heroes. So if you're getting shot at, and you're deflecting blaster bolts, his stamina will drain a little bit quicker, as opposed to blocking lightsaber attacks. That's how Dooku was designed, so just be aware of that as well if you're trying to block blaster bolts as well. So just gotta make sure you watch your stamina in that case. We're doing pretty well with the health, so I'm just trying to push up, get any kills I can, push them back as far as we can, keep our teammates up there with us. It's always good to have backup, so that way you can easily fall back if you need to, and they're there to help you. like in any small way you can. Obviously working with your team is really important, because this is a team game after all. Like, yes, we get the kill streaks and stuff like that, but without our team helping out, you can only do so much. So, you know, it is still a team game at the end of the day. We're pretty good health, full health still, and we're on phase 2 here, which is pretty good. I know in the title it does say massive PTFO. You really start to see that towards phase 2 here. I noticed the left side was more vulnerable because the heroes weren't here. We do cap this one pretty quickly. I was able to get in and flank them pretty quick. It's the next objective, like on this phase, is where it really starts to get hard, and you'll really start to see what I mean when I say PTFO. So that's where you'll start to see that. I noticed pretty quickly we were capping that. So yeah, quickly there. See, because they weren't buffed officers or heavies. I was able to 2-shot them or 1-shot them with 1 lightning. Now we'll try. I bait him with an attack here, so I dash once, then dash behind him again. I was able to fool him with that, which was pretty well done. So I back off, notice my health. We're capping the left one fine. I tried to bait Luke into the same thing, but a few hits went through my blocks there, so including that riposte. So I fought back, let him do the thing. I was prepared to attack him while he's running off, but his lunges weren't really great. I lunged too far forward that time. But yeah, that's where his stamina came in handy. I still had plenty of stamina if I had to block longer. That was a bit of lag there, but it's all good. But you see what I mean with the health regen? His health's still pretty good despite taking a bit of damage there. I was expecting a bit more resistance from this Obi-Wan, but nevertheless very handy to get some health. This point does get contested for a little while, so what I was trying to do, as you'll start to notice, anyone I can kill around here to help our troopers get a flank. There are times I'm actually on the objective, but again, as I said in my Yoda one, you don't want to stay in one place too long, so I try to move around, get a flank on them when I can. I think I get a good flank here, but they still end up contesting pretty well. So I did pretty well with flanking all these guys here, so that was pretty happy with. It helps our team push up a little bit, but the enemy team did very well contesting this point, so it does take a bit to get, but we did pretty well. Obviously, I'm keeping an eye on the minimap. That's one thing you still need to do. I see a lot of people don't use the minimap very often. They can get snuck up on by heroes at any minute. Obviously, I was waiting for my health to go up just then. Don't be afraid of the Vanguard people. Just got to make sure you time your strikes and dash. That lightning should have hit him there, so I was a little bit like, what the hell moment. This is a good spot here if you need to hold block and get your health back. That little 2 boxes there. But I'm trying to keep putting the pressure on him. Now I was gonna get that Wookiee, but because he was in the open, I didn't want to overextend, so I fought back a bit. Try and see how my team's going on the objective. There's not many of us there, so I'm trying to keep aware of that as well. This Luke was a bit of a swing spammer though, but thankfully because of his Dooku's really good regen, I was doing well. Notice what I was doing there. I was blocking when I need to, but then do a quick dash as I was falling back. Because last thing you want to do is turn away from what's shooting you. If you can find a way to still face it as a blaster hero, I mean not blaster, as a lightsaber hero, if you can still face what's coming at you, then you're more likely to keep your health going. So I'm on the move here, trying another flank. I don't want to be too predictable, despite this being a contested objective. And I was a bit confused there. I don't know what the hell happened with that guy disappearing. I don't know if he quit or lagged in front of me, but nevertheless, I'm trying to make sure they don't flank too much. Because our teammates are we're slowly securing it, but there's not many of us around the area. There are some trying to flank at the back there, so I try again, because I know the enemy team's going to start doing the same thing. Kill a few, evaluate what's around. So I'm trying to make use of his dashes to fall back. You really got to make use of 3 dashes with Dooku. Even if you don't use both of them, at least have use 2, but then you got 1 in reserve in case you really need it. So that's one thing you really got to take advantage of with Dooku is his dashes. But as you're seeing with his stamina, it drains faster when deflecting. So obviously, as I said, be aware of that. Trying to find any little sneaky way to cut through, close the gap, and play the objective when I can. I was trying to bait this Luke to attack me, but he was running too fast for me. But we've capped it though after a bit of a struggle. I knew pretty quickly though, 65 tickets, like, it's a good number, but it's not a lot, so I knew we had to cap one pretty quickly. So after I didn't find any stragglers here, I straight away went for the left one, because that was the least contested, because they wouldn't have had time to set up defending their objectives yet. So I was using my dashes and the jump swing to quickly move faster. I was aware that Wazza hadn't spawned in yet, so I think I knew he was going to spawn with me, which he did. So he was able to help me with this objective as well, which was really handy. And I briefly took the chance to go this one up here, because again they hadn't set up. Sometimes that's the quickest way to push, but as you'll see, an Anakin does come up and push me, so I do end up backing off. But at least it's putting the pressure on them, trying to spread their defenses. The fact that that officer buffed himself before I killed him, that kind of put me off there with the health. So I backed off, made sure we got this objective here. Because the last thing I needed, it was for them to disarm this one, which they end up doing right now. But thankfully, because Waz is here, you know, I distract Obi-Wan. He's able to arm it again. Our team is trying to get the other one though, which is good. I've got to admit, that was a pretty good deflection there. I didn't mean to get him in the head there, but it just happened to work out like that. So now my objective is to keep Obi-Wan off it. He does spawn in as Vader in a second, so he ends up being a good help here. Just keeping Obi-Wan off the objective. Notice there's another hero coming, but he goes the other way. I don't panic. I pretty much just stay the objective, force them to come to me, especially when I'm mind tricked. I kill this heavy. Then Obi-Wan comes back. At least he was too eager to kill me, so he didn't focus on the objective. So as soon as I killed him, I go back, because I noticed our tickets as well, so I've got to make sure this one blows up, which it does. Luke was a bit eager here, so he kind of made a stupid decision. Now, I quickly begin to make the push for this middle one, because this is a pretty hard one to get to. I didn't worry about my health too much, because we had a few troopers there. So good regen. So go in, arm it. I pretty much guard this here. I kill Anakin here because he didn't have awareness. You'll see in a minute, Waz actually had a choke glitch where he's just walking around with Vader's fist in the air, stuck with choke. Thankfully, he chokes an enemy that I was about to kill, which eventually cancels it out. But you'll see it in a second. I was hoping it'd fix itself at some point, which it ended up doing that because I was like, I need Wazza alive to help me push the objective because he's pretty good at that as well. Yeah, you'll see, I'll turn around and see, he's stuck right there and with the choke, which he's still stuck. So I was hoping something would cancel it out. Thankfully, he ends up following me behind me here. And I missed the lunge at this heavy, which he chokes him, which is good, actually, because it cancels out his choke glitch. I actually didn't see my health lose a bit there, but thanks to his regen, I was pretty good. So I was thinking, as soon as it regens, me and Waz are going to make a big push here. Because this is pretty much like our last stand because of the tickets. I got pretty lucky here though because Luke repulsed me. But because I had the lightning stun, knocked the Wookiee. I needed the health so I killed him straight away. Killed this guy. Dooku's regen really saves me a lot of times here. Luke got distracted and died. I took the chance, the objective. And pretty much my only goal here is to pretty much to guard this objective. I get a really good flank here on like about 5 or 6 troopers, which is really handy. Look, wait a minute, that felt pretty good getting all that little kill feed though. So we're sitting on 70 kills. My only goal, as I said, is just to make sure this objective is done and we win the game from here. Because I felt like we deserved to win after all the effort we put in. So that's the last kill I get there. My only goal now, as I said, keep this objective going, make sure my team's around it. Keep the other heroes at bay, find any stragglers to try to run past. But thankfully, once we got in here, our team did pretty well. I think on the minimap there was on the other side, so I think he's trying to prevent them spawning as well. But we got the win. I'm pretty happy. We really had to work hard for that. So I was pretty wrapped after this. Like I had to PTFO. It's so hard. So I'm like, yeah, 71's a good streak, but the fact that I had to play the objective really hard makes it more rewarding. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Leave a like, do the good stuff. And I hope you see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.